This is DrTPS from Hyderabad. Under World Social Craft Foundation, we thought we will start thinking aloud on different aspects of life. We all are concerned about the health, emotional aspect, intellectual, social, and spiritual development. This fivefold development is very, very essential. But though we are concerned, most of the time we are not conscious. We know this is not a good food. This is a very good choice for healthy living. But what happens most of the time? We are forced by our own environment, situation, and we get into that situation for longer and longer period of time. Our small pattern of life over a period of time becomes part of our character or culture, and we keep finding fault with most of the other people, saying that this is how the world is, we cannot escape from this. But then with that attitude, when we look at what is happening around us, though we are conscious about this food is not good, this food is what we should take, intellectually we should become so creative and active. The model of studies which happens in schools is not good for our children today, and many such concerns are there. But we know we need to make a difference, but always venturing that difference alone becomes a problem. We know there are a lot of people who wanted to make some differences. They keep thinking about what to be done, what can be done, and in isolation we keep discussing. In the last over 1 year of period of time, I must have seen such small islands of people with great thoughts like that, but they lack, sometimes they don't have that courage, sometimes they are not very conscious about what capability they have, what can be done, how to take this forward. So in this context, we thought we must make people to gather together, so that though routinely every day at home we are not able to have that sort of a changed pattern, we can probably have some gathering with like-minded people, or maybe consciously keep people to gather together, so that we know slowly we can make some differences. I take a parallel. We don't have the habit of religious practices or spiritual practices. So what do is we have temples, we have church, we have mosques, and people go there, get into that, they understand what is happening there, and pick up a small programs from there, and then re-establish at home to make small changes, so that their life pattern also is changed. So we need such small rituals to be included in our daily life. That rituals can be, though there is an academic program, let us also have an intellectual thinking about many things. Though there is a routine lifestyle of eating pattern which we have, can we have it at least once in a month or once in a week? Depends on how much time you can spare time. Can we change our life pattern accordingly, slowly? It doesn't happen overnight. On a day it doesn't happen. Every day it will not happen. But I am sure if you start practicing slowly, after some time it will happen. So that is what being conscious. We know that it is not the right way, but we have no escape. But there are some possibilities to set ourselves in the right path if we want. There are some sample places available where we can think and learn. Probably academics is not supporting. Maybe culture is not supporting because we have only temples where normal rituals are happening. but that will not take you to higher level of the spirituality. But still we can have gatherings, and that is why in temples we have lectures to make them to understand. We call a lot of speakers and then get to know many things. We need such gathering for food, maybe intellect, maybe emotional, and maybe a social understanding. How do we create our patterns better so that tomorrow, at least next generation, will have a better concern about this? I keep saying most of the people are comfortable with their life, but they are not very comfortable there. So they feel uncomfortably comfortable. And there are a lot of uncomfortable people. They have a lot of physical problems, but they enjoy being comfortably staying in that place. Only when they see somebody, they feel, oh, this man is much greater, bigger. And they feel themselves, I would have been like him. But they know that is not their path. So can we have a mix of these two different poles to understand what and how we can change our life patterns? There were a lot of discussions with some people, and I thought probably this is one starting where we can have. In that context only, last year, January, we started a program called Grandma Child Care Center. We can always find reasons that because of COVID, it did not happen. Probably I was also new to that time when we started in Pragati Resorts with Dr. G.B.K. Rao's initiative. But then I found it is not only children, it is the whole family. We can look at it so that we can make a bigger impact. And I'm sure we had a lot of discussion with Nirmaya. We had a get together at Inakers. We had, today I was there in one of the farm run by somebody, Naidu in Hyderabad. So I was looking at different patterns and different place at a different world. Last 1 year, there were a lot of seminars on webinars on agriculture related, farm related, life related, spiritual related, philosophy related things, which was having some gathering. I'm sure most of the people who joined here were with me for most of these activities. Can we make some difference? How do we take it forward? We wanted to have a real discussion. Many people said, no, January 1st is not a very good day to start. Every day can be a very good or very bad day, right? So there is no good or bad day. We should start something. We should start discussing and then start gaining experience. Probably January 1st is a good day to start. So I thought I should not miss the chance. So when I spoke to Pragati Gardens, Dr. G.B.K. Rao, he said we can have a webinar on this day. So he has given the green signal. I thought I should do that. Then I spoke to Niramaya. Then he also said, yes, I am with you. We can do that. Right. And Vijendra was there with me. He came to my house and had spent some time. He's a young boy with a lot of enthusiasm. So I was telling, we will start. When somebody comes and say that we can do that, we should not leave a chance for him to take that extra leap. And Manmohan Reddy was always there to push me to different places. Today also he was there to push me to some places. I was lethargic. I said, let us not travel today. But he said, no, today only we should go. So he pulls me at most of the places. He is also here. So thank you. God bless you. Enjoy and Happy New Year to all of you. Let me request Pragati Gardens and the man who really made a lot of difference in this direction, Dr. G.B.K. Rao, who is not like it was called as a resort and a garden. I am telling in terms of people who are first listening. When you go to Google and then you look at it, looks like a resort, it looks like a garden, but it is a real biodiversity park. There are a lot of medicinal plants, a lot of changes he has made. And he is a man who has got large area. You can imagine in Hyderabad having thousands of acres of land and wanted to make an education hub for people to learn. And that's a place all throughout the COVID time. He had a lot of guests and he could make people to understand that if you have got a good environment, nothing will affect you. So I request Dr. G.B.K. Rao to give that holistic activity in a brief so that people can have questions and interaction later. And we have Niramaya also here. represented, and we have people who joined, though we have a very small gathering. We have people from my teacher Keshavan Master is here, from Kottayam Jemmi, who is a master of technology, is here, from Kishore from Mauritius is here, Bipin from Dubai is here, Jayaprakash from Rajasthan is here, and we have Aravind from Germany. So many different people from different parts of the world. So Dr. GBK Rao, welcome, and Happy New Year to all of you. Let us give an ear. Yeah.
And all other great eminent personalities is a happy and prosperous New Year. This knowledge is the superpower. That's why the Vedas are taken as a very, very basic for India. The knowledge how from Vedas to Upanishads and then finally the Bhagavad Gita. The only answer for us, the true knowledge. The true knowledge is consciousness will prevail. Like, we have Pasupati now. Pasupati. That means who conquer the Indriyas, then only become Pasupati. Otherwise, the Pasu. So, all we have to think in that direction, how to control our senses. Without that, nothing can happen. We'll be just like what the other 84 lakhs living beings are there, similar. That's why Adhikara Lingam is called Adhikari. You become Adhikari on your body is only when you become that, winning that Indriyas, controlling that. With this, we started a Pragati Sudhama. So people know about the resorts. Is a Sudhama, where like a Naimisaranyam. Sota Maharshi says, where there was those days before Mahabhagavatam, there the yajna is going on, 12 years continuous yajna. There the 16,000 disciples, they have to learn Vedas, and 88,000 rishis are appeared there, yajna. The Sutta, when he comes there, that's all they ask him. Those days before Mahabhagavatam, they've seen that the problems there in the mind and the body, the type of vikaras are coming. Then asked him, what is the solution? The all type of vyadi, manasika and sharirika. Then he said, you people are sitting here and asking such question. It is where such vanams are there. He describes about the plants, the type of plants, the type of tirthas, that means the rivers and in the Naimisaranyam. You can't get any disease. That is Chaturmukha Brahma Shasanam, that Kalipurusha cannot enter into this. That is there are no diseases. Then they say, no, we all came here, but when we go out, yes, of course, you want to go out, then from the vanams, the bhogas, rogas will come. He says that the bhogas, you want bhoga. There is all what today also the same concept, where the concrete jungle, if you want to live, you have to live with all types of diseases. There is no second thought about it. That's why we have to make sure that wherever there we are staying, living, that has to be like a vanam, like tapovanam. Without that, nothing can be seen. Your consciousness that always speaks. You know that, morning when you go for the bathroom, what is the problem, what you ate last night are the same, and what type of sleep you are getting, what type of digestion you are getting. All these olden days we used to, in Telugu, we call Bagundava and Adigavar Kadu. Are you getting good sleep? Are you getting hungry? Are you 10 hours, 12 hours? Are you dynamic? Are you able to work without tiredness? with happiness, with a joyful. This is the system which is followed. Bowel cleaning. How is the bowel cleaning? These are today we are totally having all type of problems. Today the corona. Why there is no corona in Pragati Sudana? Almost 135 rooms fully booked this 20 months, 8 to 12 days, 3 to 5 people, and the occasions where 5,000 people gathered. Nothing, 700 people are supporting for these functions, and no corona here, no mask here. So unless the consciousness, we have to bring that what we eat, instead of rice, wheat, millet, instead of sugarcane, sugar, your palm jaggery, instead of coffee, tea, or kashayams. Our slogan is Kashayam, Kashayam, or Bharat. And instead of refined oils, that cold pressed oils, Yaddu Kattika Nununlu. Unless we change our consumption pattern, the farmer will always will have the suicides, because if you want to use nanari juice or coconut juice or fruit juice or vegetable juice or Pepsi Coke, if you are having a habit of Pepsi Coke and other things which I need not, New Year last night we have seen what we are drinking, what we are doing, such things. It brings all chemical industries, and soil will be polluted, water will be polluted, air will be polluted, all the type of things, How can you live? We say that farmer should be rich. How can he become rich when he is all chemical pesticides, chemical fertilizers, arsenic, lead, mercury. So in this subject, we have to have a consciousness about what we are eating. जैसे अन्न ऐसे मन, जैसे रस ऐसे खून, जैसे अग्नि ऐसे walk. Agni comes from oil, that is hydrogen. But refined oils are this cold pressed oils. Ras means your juices, what type of juices you are taking. Vacha. Manjit Jagatjit. Manjit Jagatjit. Depends upon what you consume, accordingly you become. Jasan as a man means that 6% of the what we eat that goes to the mind. So gut feeling, people say gut feeling. Gut feeling, some people have tamasic and rajasic. Some people have sattvic. The bhavana. This comes from the food itself. So we have to be very, very, today change of habit. It is the consciousness to be brought from the childhood. Otherwise, we will not be able to save our Mother Earth. So I don't want to, this is not so many people are there, eminent personalities. I request, I like to hear from others and from you. So anything connected with the Pragati, Sudama, we almost 2,500 acres, we grow more than 47 lakhs endangered herbal, medicinal, aromatic plants, and trillions of ground cover, shrubs, bushes, all this which is required for yajna, yaga, samadhis like Somalata, you're all Trimurti-vanam, Panchavati-vanam, Panchabhuta-vanam, Navagraha-vanam, Nakshatra-vanam, Rasi-vanam, Saptarushi-vanam, 21 Patrika-vanam, all the type of kalprukshas, 7 types of kalprukshas, all this, how the soil can be protected, how water can be protected, how the water can become amrut. All this is the only subject which we need out of the day. So thank you, Dr. TPS. You have given me time. I might have taken more time. So many people are there.
Thank you, Dr. GBK. As usual, he has got the holistic idea of how to maintain good health so that will result in the emotional, intellectual, social, and spiritual balance. And his place is a really holistic, balanced place where people can feel it, visualize it, see it, experience it.
They can do it. They can do it in their own place.
Yeah.
like mosquito free, virus free, through medicinal plants, which in a courtyard. You can have your spice box in the kitchen and courtyard, like vertical gardening, hanging gardening, roof gardening, the type you name. If there is a will, there is a way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we have Narendra Reddy from Niramaya. Maybe before that, Keshwatan is there. Keshavan Master is there.
Yes, I see him there. Yeah.
Yeah, Keshavatam, unmute please.
I want to be a listener to them.
No, I want your blessings and then some comments on the real conscious living. What is that makes people happy? I'm sure you can give a beautiful, probably Sanskrit sloka and explain it also, and then tell what is that. We have Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. How do we create that Shanti in everyone's, not in individual life, but how do we spread it to the society?
Let me talk in Malayalam.
You can talk in English. I know you have the old terrible English which I don't understand. We need a dictionary to follow. Keshavan is really worried people don't follow his English because it is high standard English. Yeah, some sloka. One Shanti mantra, Keshavata. Yeah, Narendra ji, I was seeing Keshavatan going on and off because of he is from a small village. That's why I called him. Yeah.
Yes.
Narendra ji, yes. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving the opportunity. I mean, I see people I know personally who are into this, and I'm sure others you're associated with or in the same line. And appreciate all the efforts and the madness they take onto themselves to towards the better society in many ways. Or as you said, Shanti. To give a brief on my side, from my side, I'm Narendra Reddy, and our small organization NGO is Niramaya Society. The name itself, the Niramaya means, generally it is said, be healthy. But it is actually not a appropriate term to say, but it's a generalized explanation that to be healthy. But technically speaking, Niramaya means to not have any ama within us. So it could be a physical ama, which is produced by improper, as Jivika said, the food. When the food is not digested properly, it becomes toxic, it becomes poison. Okay, and that is the platform to create other diseases. So you're not, if the Niramaya is like the base where you can still have capacity to, repair ourselves. Okay, once that stage crosses, then you see the symptoms and the stages of disease formation. So in our culture, we don't really worry much about the disease, okay, because our all dietetic, our food habits go anywhere. In your area, food may be different from the next village or next state, but all the foods traditionally created, what we eat throughout the country, throughout the Asian country, the eastern part of the world, these are all based on Ayurvedic knowledge. Okay, like if you talk about tadka, right? It's a very strong term people use, tadka, right? So why they do it? Ayurveda explains every ingredient, what it does, okay, and what tadka actually does to the food. Okay, so in general, we need to understand these like basic concepts of what Ayurveda teaches us regarding the food, which is only for the body. And to some extent, it has impact on the gunas also, the mind, right? Sattva, Raja, Tama. Okay. So along with that, ama can be in the energy channels, all the nadis, marmas, the energy flow, what goes through in our system. So this is part of Sukshma Sharira. So the physical body is free after that, or Sukshma Sharira, part of Sukshma Sharira, which is energy channel, Manomaya Kosha, and Vijnanamaya Kosha. So ama can be in all these other shariras also, other koshas also. And finally, the Anandamaya Kosha, which is considered bliss body. Okay, there also you can have ama. Okay, so to have a regular or daily or every moment what we are doing, if we can watch what we are putting into us and what we are giving out and what we are doing in between. Okay, input, output, and the process in between. If we are conscious about that, there won't be any ama, there won't be any excretory material sitting inside us. Can be the body or mind or motion, energy, or your consciousness. Okay, that is what actually Niramaya means. So when you maintain that status, where is the chance of getting a disease? Okay, so all this let it be, as Sir said, the vanas, create that vibrational energy which actually clears those blocks. Primarily because of that vibrational activity the plants give us. That's why they are called Divya Vrikshas. So Divyata is to neutralize or keep it clean. Divyata, not necessarily only Devata upstairs. It's what is inside us. Maintaining that Divyata within us comes from all the kind of the living entities on earth. The nature gives us. We just need to understand it and be part of that. So what it requires is that conscious living. What Sir said, that the heading of this meeting is conscious living. So that's why I wanted to point out, emphasize on that. What we are facing these days, because it's very, very, a lost connection with the nature. And not only nature outside, it's a nature inside also. So the life is interaction between what is inside us versus what is outside. And that balance, when we maintain properly, okay, what we put in, how we process, and what we put out. Okay, if this can be understood and this can be maintained properly, I think we can maintain the Niramaya state. A lot of people know the chant, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya. All read, but reading is not enough. We need to understand it, we need to put into practice, and we need to live with it. Okay, that's what makes a conscious living. So I appreciate all the participants for taking time and be here. And it's a great opportunity to learn. Many people across, and the direction DrTPS sir took to put people together and join hands, which is kind of a tough job, but we are beginning. I think we are taking good steps forward, and I'm sure we can successfully make a difference more. All, and I'm happy to join the team and share my thoughts, and also happy to know a lot from all of you. Thank you very much.
See, what a great thought, no? We must have heard this chanting most of the time, Sarve Santu Niramaya. This is what I'm saying. We keep chanting without being conscious about what we are chanting. We learn so much, but we are not conscious about what we are learning. This is very, 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 very bad from our point. When we listen to something, we don't go deep into that and understand what does it mean. So the sukham is, I keep saying, gham means space. When you add su, it becomes sukham. When you add du, it becomes dukham. So the space is everywhere, either outside or inside, or out or in. Side itself is a wrong usage. Either out or in, we have this, but we generally keep saying, Dr. GBK also said, Adi is the biggest problem. In Ayurveda, it says, Adi Vyadi Rupena Jayate. You start worrying about things and then that becomes your Vyadi. You are conscious. Conscious about what? Conscious about the disease. You are not conscious about ease. Though there is a word called meditation which many people practice, they are not even conscious about that meditation. They do unconsciously meditate. So my guru keeps saying, I am from Himalayan tradition. He said, you be conscious about what you are doing. That can be agriculture, that can be reading, that can be engineering, that can be driving, that can be cooking, that can be teaching, that can be reading a book, that can be seeing a movie also. If you are conscious about that, that itself is a meditation. You don't have to do another meditation by closing eyes. And we have been polluting this Indian traditional knowledge with a lot of stupidity around, because just now, as Narendra ji said, no, Sarve Santu Sukhna, Sarve. How many people would have thought about it, but how many people really understood what Niramaya is? I remember when I went to a small school and asked them, and because I went probably in the Christian missionary school for the prayer, they did Om Burbo Sohatat Savidur Varenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona. I called that girl who sang that prayer and then asked him, whose praising is this? Whom are we praising in this prayer? But she couldn't. And I said, you analyze word by word and then tell me. Om Bhur, she did not understand. Bhuva, she did not understand. Anything she did not understand. Only when Devasya Dhimahi, the word Devasya is a very common Christian name. So she immediately said, that is praising Devasya. Right? So for her, Devasya is a Christian name. Some Devasya would have been there as a brother, cousin brother of Christ. So praising them is that. So most of us don't understand what we are doing. Let that be eating. Let that be learning. Let that be relationship between people. We don't understand the value of that. We are not conscious about what mother means, what father means, what children means, what friends means. These are not understood by most of us. So the idea of discussions or learning is to realize. That is what is realization. I keep saying in the Maslow's principle, we have a basic requirement of physical requirement. So we need food, we need a place to stay, we need everything what is required. Materialistically, we cannot be absent in this world, because over the materialistic world only we can create everything. So one, materialistically we become satisfied. Next we want love, we want share, we want care. That is emotional. Then we need education. Then we know how to get into the society, to get fame, become popular, share it to across that. Then actually self-actualization comes. Probably that is the reason India is not at the forefront of happiness index, because we are building the spiritual realization over a baseless physical circumstance. You cannot talk about spirituality when people are feeling hungry. You cannot talk about education when people are feeling hungry. We cannot talk about how to serve society when people are feeling hungry. So it is essential to realize what we need. And that requirement, if you are very thoroughly understood, I am sure the rest of the things becomes fall in line. Right? So I am sure any volunteer who can raise hand and speak. We have not kept any speakers here. Right? I am seeing Sanjay making some messages on the chat. Sanjay ji, are you available? Sanjay is my closest neighbor. We stay diagonally opposite to the roads probably. He stays in AWH colony, I stay in Bowenpalli. So
I didn't know that.
yeah, I know because I know where are you staying. So we just met the other day on a similar platform, right, where we were discussing about how transformation can happen, right? Sanjay ji,
I
you
didn't know
were
that you were my neighbor. Yes. In fact, what triggered my thinking was the fact that you mentioned that meditation is there everywhere if you have the focus and the capability of being able to do things mindfully, which is very true. the whole story is about the ability to actually be clear and prioritize what you want to do, and then getting to the root cause of the particular issue that is there at hand. The what of the matter, the why of the matter, the where of the matter, the when of the matter, the who of the matter, the how of the matter, and the when of the matter. The moment these 6 Rudyard Kipling questions are actually, which has been so beautifully enunciated in the poetry that Kipling has actually shared, which would be a good recitation maybe at a later time when I'm able to retrieve it, because I don't remember it by heart. But the issue is that unless these are addressed at multiple levels on whatever we are doing at that particular moment, the process of focus and meditation as well as clarity to be able to actually both utilize it and then transmit it for the betterment of others and yourself does not happen. And so beautifully you have put it, PP. And I agree with you on that. And I think the simplest of things lead to meditation. Even for example, I know I'm a sportsman too. So today, in fact, I was about to go for squash, not feeling too well. So I said, okay, let me break. And then I remembered that TP had reminded me that he's going to have a session at 5 o'clock. So I saw it was 5:15, so I said, not too late, let me just enter the session, and that's how I entered right now. So again, being mindful at the back of the mind that there are multiple occasions and you need to slot your time for that. And then committing and also dynamically deciding on what to do at that particular moment also is a form of meditation that you commit yourself to, because the moment now I am with you, everything else is excluded. It doesn't matter what is going around me or what was there originally planned, because what is mattering now in front of you is being mindful about what these 11 or 13 people in front of you, whom I can see on the screen, are listening to, and what TPG mentioned and allowed me to engage and enter into this conversation. So that itself is a process of meditating, the way we went away. Thank you very much, TP.
So that rightly Sanjay ji said. Actually, there is a saying that who heals a wound in your body? It is not doctor. He only stitches them together to put the skin together. That's it. Otherwise, it may get slightly, you can see the wound if it is slightly separate. So put them together. Then the cell will start creating the action of healing only when you feel the pain. If you don't have pain for the wound, that means it will not get healed. That is why the leprosy patients will not get the healing happen, because they don't know the pain. So actually pain is a good thing. So why pain is given? So you are aware, you are conscious that there is an action required there. So pain is a big gift given by God for the cell to work. Therefore biofeedback happens. There is a great concept called biofeedback. You are aware. And you are conscious about the problem which you have, not the problem, for which you need a solution, and instruct your body to start solving the problem. The body will equip itself for solving the problem. But most of the people are only in the first part. They are worried about the problem. So when you are worried about the problem, if I keep saying I have a headache, I have a headache, I have a headache, I have a headache, definitely I will have a headache. It is not told by me. The first psychotherapist Vasishtha himself said, Purne manasi sampurnam jagat sarvam sudhadravaihi upana gudapadasya nanu charmastru daivabu. The whole world looks like what the mind says. If I say the world is happy, the world is happy. If I keep saying the world is bad, the world is bad. I keep saying you may be eating pani puri on the roadside in any big street in India. You will not get a bad smell until and unless you know that there is a drainage going below that. The time you know that there is a drainage going below that, next time before eating, you will start thinking about it. You will feel that it's a dirty place, right? So your awareness is what creates problem. As long as we have saliva inside our mouth, which helps us for having all the digestion proper, but we cannot keep that saliva beside our idli and eat, correct? Though our finger with the nail allows us to cut the dosha or chapati, we cannot cut that and put beside the chapati and then serve it. So sometimes you are aware that something should be ignored. You are aware that this is not what consciously should keep in your mind. So something you keep in your mind with your awareness, that becomes a problem also. So human beings are such, we have been created with a lot of programming inside us. And that programming we are not utilizing totally. And that utilization is what makes us to be perfect. I am sure Kishore Chandra ji from Mauritius can add a few points to this. He is a man who lives with a lot of divinity and spirituality and shares a lot of thoughts on these subjects. Kishore ji, you have to unmute.
Namaskar, Chabilu. While we are talking about the consciousness, I will give example, on myself first. My father wanted me to be a lawyer. But before, when I was a child, I was a student, I wanted to become a journalist. So when I finished my studies, then I went in a lawyer's firm and started studying. But in the meanwhile, what happened? Before I went to that, my father, I had written an article in the newspaper and challenging one of the MPs in Mauritius. And then there was a libel case initiated by the lawyer, by the MP, against the newspaper and myself. Then my father called me, said, if you want to be journalist, you should know the law so that you can respect, the ideas of others. You should not, try to, harm the feelings of others. So what happened in between? My father passed away. I had to give up my studies of law. I didn't become a journalist, and I landed up doing community work and joint service. And this is how I became a social worker and studied social work at the University of Mauritius. And I became a community development officer, and later on I became the commissioner of community development in Mauritius. So the problem is this. Nothing, what I wanted, I didn't become. What my father wanted, I didn't become, but I landed up to something that was destiny. And I became a very good, I won't say it's my personal opinion, but I was able to do certain things at the community level and trying to change the mindset of the people in the community, in some communities where we have the community centers to work, So this is I was very much aware in my mind that if I do certain things in this way, I will be able to get such results. Not 100%, but at least 10, 15% that is going to make a change. And then those 10, 15%, when they are going to live that way, and others people are going to see that they are having ease in their life, so they will be able to change by themselves. So the consciousness should start with a small group. Try to give it up to the people and try to initiate them in that way. GBK Rao was talking about the firm that he has created. So if we have the conscious living, happiness living, so we have to try to, at some point, to get a group of people who can come and stay together, work together, and try to think in the levels, they have their personal level, and try to share the thinking with the others, and try to see how the synergy of the consciousness of each individual can join in together to create that super synergy so that we can make a change in our lives and at the same time try to change the people around us. So I think that things have to be, we have to address this avenue in some way in the conscious. The consciousness is there, like Dr. TP was talking about, what is disease? Disease is the absence of ease. They always say if there is no ease, so there is disease. You are feeling not well, not comfortable. So, but if you feel in your conscious mind that you are at ease with every situation, you will feel as if you are better, you are good. You are good in doing things, you are good in listening things and good, doing what you have to do. So these things we have to inculcate in our mind. The spirituality aspect has been given by our friend, the second speaker, who said about that. You know, when we talk about religion, we like chanting and chanting without knowing what we are chanting. So if only we can start chanting with the consciousness of what we are chanting, then only things can change in us. So that cultivation in our inside ourselves is an essential thing that we have to teach ourselves. You know, everyone is a teacher. But the first teacher is to be your own teacher. It's only then that you can inculcate the values within yourself, and then you can share those values with others. So the consciousness is there in our head, and then when we're talking about conscious, there is the conscious, there is the aspect of subconscious and everything like that. So, if you want to, like, for example, I want to travel. This is the second thing I wanted to share with you. I wanted to go and study mathematics in India. And I made my application to the University of Bombay and I got everything. But my father did not want me to go abroad. So I didn't go to study mathematics. So what I said, once we were sitting, there is the place where I live, there is a peepal tree. And then we were sitting and I was discussing with my father. And my father said, no, I don't have the finance enough to finance your studies to go and study in India. Said, but instantly I said, okay, Dad, you are not giving me money, but I'm going to travel without spending a single cent of yours. So what happened? Immediately it was something clicked in my mind that I have to travel. And then I started traveling, and the first country I visited was Kenya, Nairobi. And since 74, there is not a single year that had passed except these 2 years of the COVID. I have not been traveling. And also when I was traveling, because it was in the conscious mind that I have to travel every year. So I get invitation to attend conferences. I get invitation to be a keynote speaker in one of the big conferences of the social workers or the community workers. So every year, once, twice, or thrice, I, without spending money from my pocket to attend those meetings, I was attending and I was giving talks, I was participating in international conferences. So the consciousness, we have to ingrain it in ourselves, and only then you can see the result. These were the things I wanted to share, Dr. TP.
Yeah, it's a great balance. What happens is I have something, but I am not able to show it. Or maybe I don't have something, I feel like showing it. And the next one, what as Kishorji said, is feeling. Yeah, you have it, you show it, you feel it. When you reach to the higher, you be. So it is not feeling, it is not showing, it is not having, it is being which is more important. So some people show that, you are peaceful. They are not internally peaceful. That is what I was telling. Comfort and uncomfort. You are uncomfortably comfortable. They show sometimes they are very good, they are enjoying, they have great people around them. I am a great man. But internally, if you talk to them very closely, they understand still they are not doing very good. No, they are not able to show their capacity, or they are underutilized, or they are sometimes not able to do what they really wanted. So showing is something, and sometimes they feel, yeah, I am doing good. As you said, most of the doctors will come and ask you, how are you feeling? That because you are already sick. The feeling comes only when you have problem. Oh, I am feeling good. I am feeling good doesn't mean you are good. You are only feeling good. So I wrote an article long back, feeling cold, say no, then there is no cold, right? Generally we say it's too cold, we are feeling cold. Yeah, there is not cold, feeling cold is there. So if you think that there is no cold, there is no cold at all. So that's all the feeling, it's all in the feeling. So definitely being is more important. How peacefully you are being. So most of the spiritual people are supposed to be in peace. It is not showing peace, it is being in peace. So most of us, that is what is self-actualization, that is what is realization. Though you realize I am a being. That is why we say in Bhagavad Gita, Uddhared Atmanatmanam Atmanam avasadhayat Atmaiva Hyatmano Bantu Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha. My enemy is in my friend is also in me. I should decide what should I raise it. If I can raise Uddharet, I raise my Atma in such a level where everything else becomes so calm and peaceful. That is what is essential, right? So we are having Dilip ji from United Nations NGO representative, the World Yoga Community. Sanjay ji was just mentioning, and we know that Manmohan Reddy is also sportsman. Dilip ji is a sportsman and a yoga together. So we are thinking about yoga sports, and then it is already active in few states in India. But I was wondering why is it not in Hyderabad and Telangana? I think I am sure Sanjay ji and Manmohan Reddy and all that can have together this thought of having a yoga sports, and then see what and how we can have Dilip ji's blessings on this. Sometimes we need a spirit for the screwing up his records, for that spring will start action very fast. Dilip ji.
Namaste, namaste. Yogasana sports itself is a big political movement. So very hard to handle those areas. Definitely, I will suggest to have a Yogasana sports in Hyderabad. My passion is everybody should be active always. So even though we do so many events day by day, still we know it's very hard to hand people, but still we had to do something. Yeah, so we try our best. And living in consciousness is not easy. We had to go beyond our limit. Sometimes it's very easy. When you go through difficult time, then we know. We will surrender to the universe, what is coming to our life. We admit this is the life. We just take it. And I'm glad DP is putting this subject very interesting to experience in our personal life. Yeah. We have some ideas about our life. We have some type of dreams about life. Most of the time it won't go according to our dreams. So the universe will lead us to certain path or certain experience. We have to be with it. But the thing I felt from my own experience, we never know what will happen next moment. We have big plans to put certain things in our life, but we end up in somewhere else. So better to go with the flow of the nature. We don't have to worry about it. Trust the flow of the universe. Then we don't have to worry about it. So this is the thing I feel. Whatever we do, just do it awareness. We know what we are doing, what's the purpose of our activities, or even breath itself. It's beyond our control. So I just enjoy my time whenever I am with people, or even if I am not with people. I think each moment is fruitful for us. Yeah, the divine time we have to experience in this life, very short life. But still, I think we need a moment to summarize all the knowledge, all the experiences for the community, for our personal life. Sometimes I think, why you had to do all of this? You don't have to worry about it. But it's needed. Like a lot of time I feel like when you want to make a diamond, you take a big rock, you cut it, polish it, you get a beautiful diamond, and then we'll lose that diamond one day. How do you feel about that? That's life. My thing, that's the only thing I want to share today. I was going to sleep after a busy day, and I want to say Happy New Year to TP. Oh, we have a program. Then I was looking, yes, there's a program. I was sitting in the chair, suddenly I slept. Then suddenly I woke up. Oh, I'm supposed to be in that meeting. I just get ready and came.
So nice of you, Dilip ji. We are not even aware of the breath which gives us life. Being aware of the breath is what is called pranayama. It's not a great magical science, but if you are aware of your breath, then you are in pranayama. And when you are aware of your breath, that is what is called which controls your thoughts or manas. Prana bandhanat liyate mana. It is not bandhanam. You are conscious about it, automatically it becomes controlled. That control is what is required. So if you are aware of your breath, you know how much difference it makes in life. And if you are aware, then the breath becomes so useful and consciously it becomes a objective and scope. But sometimes our actions should go very casually so that we should flow like a river. This is my book on life made simple, and which I keep talking about my philosophy: flow like a river and grow like a tree. You don't have control what is going to happen, but that moment when you are flowing, you are really enjoying. And if there is lot of obstacles, when it overflows, it becomes so beautiful. So I think life is to have lot of obstacles in life. The problems which Dilip ji was telling, when we have lot of problems, unless we fill it and flow, the overflow doesn't happen. That is where we need mentors, leaders who will guide them to see what can be done so that the flow becomes so beautiful in this world. Well said, Dilip ji. Thank you for that. I know that in America, when New Year comes, how do you enjoy, and then what happens in the next day morning? January 1st is always a problem. So, but he hosted me for last 4 months. We were together with Bhagavad Gita, and Dilip ji was hosting it. So generally he was up, and then he keeps on your system and then keep ready for me to speak, So sometimes speaking is much easier, but hosting becomes more difficult. So he had suffered all these hosting programs for me for last 4 months. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody want to speak? You are welcome. I'm only seeing few names who are beside me, and then you could always unmute and then start talking. It's like a casual. Yeah. Vijendra is there. Vijendra wanted to speak.
Yeah, I'll share my thoughts on the farm that we visited today.
Yeah.
And some ideas about what I'm passionate about and what I've seen and observed so far, and hoping that it will be helpful for the audience and in general the ideas that I've been working on. Am I audible?
Yes.
Good. So the thing is, first the farm that we went, Nagaratnam ji's farm, and one of the interesting things is he has got Rudraksha trees and the trees that usually we don't see anywhere, a tree from Himalayas, and he has grown. He has grown an aloo, which is not a legume, but it grows out on the in the open. So he is like a scientist in himself. But as we were talking, one of the things he mentioned is, I am not well educated, but that perception that he is not bookishly or educated degrees wise is it just reflected that as like, that's not in any way. I mean, there is a relevance of academic accolades and degrees and all of that gives an accreditation. But as life is a learning process, he has built such a beautiful place. And when he had started there, because it was a barren land, sort of a barren land or semi-barren land, he within those 30 years, he has created a sort of an oasis over there with mango trees and all kinds of trees. Like I don't know how many varieties, but there are like umpteen varieties of trees, and he's able to produce those yields, and he has even created certain systems of efficient farming. His one of the aims that he had pulled, that he wanted to fulfill through that was, what is the difference that a single farmer can do without any support from without the institutional help? What can a farmer do? From that thought, he was able to go teach and influence a lot of farmers, students, and institutions, and just by an individual farmer's effort. And he is trying to now, I think he has reached that point far back, that a farmer should not take anything from outside, but he should produce from here and then send it out. So it should go to the society. So he is able to do that, and an amazing effort. It was a lovely visit, and he has built a good infrastructure where it could be leading towards a agro education hub sort of a thing, where the decimation of all the wisdom or the knowledge that is gathered so far can be disseminated on a more sustainable, perpetual manner. So I think that was a great visit, great person. I really enjoyed the visit. So yeah, if someone is from Hyderabad, I think they should consider going there. And if, as DrTPS was also saying, if there's an occasion where if we can host it sometime, one of these sessions there, that will also be, I think, it has a good energy, and the place is good, and it is one of those centers of hope that in this current society, the concept of consciously doing a particular act of vocation or a contribution in the world, how can it be? It's a very good example of one person, if he consciously takes a decision, how and where it can land. So that's what my take was from that farm. Coming to what I've been, my journey had been, had led me to consolidating my life towards two things that I was passionate about. That is, one thing is about trying to see how holistic health becomes norm, and how can I contribute, and are there any issues, if any, what are they, and is there a solution that is implementable and it makes a difference to a common man's life. And the other field was within the education realm, how can someone contribute from their purpose or a meaningful work, or if you put it in another way, swadharma, how can people contribute in that, and why are people not happy with their jobs? From there it went on to that journey. So in both those cases, when I was trying to do, is there any root cause and what is happening? Because most of the people want to do the work that they like. That is a natural inclination. And most of the people want to live healthy. And the secret behind health, there could be a lot of things. But the simple aspects of it is eat healthy, sleep well, work and contribute, or do some work, physical activity, and keep good company, keep good thoughts. These basic things everyone has, more or less everyone has an acquaintance of. It's not like rocket science. But even
I think the simplest word you need to actually define is discipline. That's about it. Everything else falls in place. Every part of your life requires discipline. Automatically things come in that. Even the way in which you think also is built on discipline. the stability of your mind, that TPS will agree, is essentially being able to look at the entire story, in its entirety, and as well as come to a conclusion, which is actually what we would call as harmonious to the entire situation. I was inquiring about your farm. Which part of Hyderabad is this farm in? Can you please tell us, Vijay?
It is close. This is Nagaratnam Naiduji's farm. It's close to Ramoji Film City, about 5 kilometers in between Ramoji Film City and Gadkesar.
Okay, on the Vijayawada highway. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's 5 kilometers off of Vijayawada highway. Yes. If you Google Nagaratnam Naidu,
I'll after you finish, I will share a little bit more about farming because I happen to be global resource for ICRISAT on their agribusiness initiative as an entrepreneur trainer. And as you're very well aware that both the corporate as well as the small version, in fact, I think I could see Mr. GBK also around here for some time. I think he has left. Who's another doyen of...
No, Dr. GBK is here. And actually we started today's session with the Dr. GBK talk only.
Okay.
So probably Vijay has not seen Dr. GBK's place. That is why probably he's talking about... it is not that I have not seen Dr. GBK's, I have not seen... Narendra's I have not seen so far. Niramaya I have not seen. I had an opportunity to have visited a lot of places, have discussions one-to-one with a lot of people. But what I found probably today's visit is, in his farm every Saturday there are farmers from different parts of the state coming and learning. And he is sharing that knowledge for propagating his model for different people. See, that is what the interest people have. And it is done free of cost. And it is the commitment which he has. And I was not aware of Nagaratnam's farm and the extent, though I met him exactly a year back. Day before yesterday I had landed upon videos of Nagaratnam, which is plenty of them are there. But the potential ability what he has is not being tapped totally. So probably what happens sometime we need to tap. That is why I thought we need to connect to people. We are all having different islands. Maybe one island is very rich, the other island doesn't even have a boat facility for launch, But can't we create this like a bridging so that people use facilities, people also grow together, people are more aware, use their activities together. That is only what Sanjay ji I was trying to do. That's what I am saying. We need to connect them together. We have a lot of islands here. Hyderabad is a place where we have got a lot of potential people who are all islands. They don't connect each other. That's one of the problem.
There's a human issue in that, TPG. See, the islands get created because of insecurity. Remember that. The fear of not being able to let go of what you actually hold on to and see the common good, the larger good. When I go back to the Purushartha process of looking at knowledge flow as well as the way in which Vedantic processes as well as thinking allows us to deal with knowledge, which is totally contrarian in the Western world, gives us the clue to the entire story. The whole interpretation of success from our Vedantic thinking is the ability of making others succeed, not yourself succeed. Remember that. Which essentially means that we actually distribute knowledge or enable the process of distribution of knowledge for the common good and the larger development of everybody around. Whereas the entire Western patenting process and manufacturing and everything else that you think about and that you are trained in the current process, amongst all of us who are intellectuals over here, unfortunately kills that ability which was there in the past. That is why the Gurukul system is is in its maybe with a new mix of technological tools that we can make available today, can become the emergent most powerful system of teaching that the world can actually have subsequent to this COVID and the VUCA world that we are seeing. So the ability of being able to create these pipes of flow of knowledge between multiple islands, which allows, just like water finds its level amongst all, and then helps everybody to grow because it actually is in a position to be able to take care of the soil as well as the vegetation better and allow the growth of using the natural energies that is available in nature. for it to take over from there is what we need to achieve also on the knowledge front. And in fact, ICRISAT, for example, is a typical example of how Western money has actually been utilized to be able to master local knowledge and also use the local land transition which has happened between the black soil and the red soil, which happened in the middle of the ICRISAT campus, in fact, to see in a dryland agriculture environment at a slightly higher topography, grow relevant crops and also nurture certain crops, which will be totally different if we go towards Vijayawada, if we go towards Miryalguda, Suryapet, and towards Karimnagar or towards Nizamabad. Now, the ability to bring in all these knowledges together, and this, what Vijendra is mentioning, and what Mr. GPK has done,
Yeah, Vijay, you will also see, if you hear the history of Dr. GBK, you will also tell that it was an unfertile land. It was totally like a cement land where water will not know. It was a very difficult situation. I think people had difficulty in making. See, the success comes not by making it. Probably success comes when you can make a business model out of it, and then create revenue out of it, so that the flow runs very fast. That is what is essential. Yeah.
Dr. TPS,
Yeah.
may I speak?
Yeah. Sure.
See, today, the soil, fertile soil converted into sand means that is the arsenic, lead, mercury. This what we are eating poisonous. The amount of fertilizers, chemical fertilizers, chemical pesticides. This is where the food habit also, which like our Indian traditional food, that is millets, which is only requires 300 liters, but it has got 6 units of glucose, is enough for the person to have, whereas the rice and wheat has got 12 units. Imagine what we need 6 units. One time if you take 12 units, 3 times you take 36, what it happens, and water requirements almost 8,000 to 12,000 liters required per 1 kg of rice to come on the table. That is which glucose, and the similar sugarcane sugar, which is requires 1 kg to get on the table, 28,000 liters water required. Whereas the palm jaggery, it doesn't need water, where it just grows like that. It has got pectose, palm jaggery, and the similar, like coffee, tea, instead of that kashayam, which is our Indian tradition, is kashayam. The fourth is your refined oils. Our original system is cold pressed oils. These are the things where our habit of consumption, it requires to change our thought flow, our sattvic bhavana. In this line, we have to be serious, and Pragati, whatever is done and is going to give this technology, which today the farmer is getting into such problem. Input cost is more, output is less. For this, that is what we did. There are 3 things which the farmer is basically spending more money. One is plowing, another is the fertilizer, third is weed. These 3 can be answered, and by protecting the mother earth very safely, by mulching, means the type of whatever the waste you get, the leaf mold or other straw, such things from the rice, wheat, or other millets straw. If you cover it, if you have 1 cow, that whatever panchakaviya, if you spread it on that, spray it on that, your plowing is not required, your fertilizer is not required, and no weed. Mainly the people weed is the biggest problem. In this direction, if you go, your mother earth will be safe. Your covering this soil, it is very, very important. Global warming is going to be a biggest threat to us. This consciousness is required, when we are eating, how to save the mother earth. If you don't have that consciousness, the soil pollution, water pollution, air pollution, what we are eating, arsenic, lead, mercury, poisonous, in this direction, our consumption pattern individually has to be seen that this changing from rice wheat to millet, from refined oils to our cold pressed oils, from coffee tea to kashayams, and both is from sugar, cane sugar to or palm jaggery. All these four, it makes a lot of sense to change the habit of that. Yourself will be safe, your mother earth will be safe. So in this direction, certainly we like to have a number of programs to bring the consciousness and how to see that the farmer will get rich. By once the farmer is rich with the natural farming, your total no pollution will be there. No soil pollution, no water pollution, no air. By doing that, everything is, we don't need to have so many taxes, what we are paying. For health is taken care, environment is taken care, the subsidy is not required to give so much to the farmers. It is a vicious circle. We have to come out of that. Is only answer to, again, you get amrutahar. Otherwise you are taking a vishapuritahar. That is a poison we are eating. That is what DrTPS, you have done a great job bringing this type of sessions, which certainly we have to be conscious about what's going to happen tomorrow, what the next generation, future generation, are they going to excuse us if we don't take up seriously now? The connection with the, I heard that, Sanjay ji is telling about Gurukul, that the first they taught the taxonomy. Taxonomy they taught in the childhood. When Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he found that is missing. He brought 21 Patrikas Ganpati into the school so that they connect with the nature, so that when they grow, they understand what is important to the. If you don't connect with the nature, this is what happens. Connect with the nature, the school education should start with at least the 21 Patrikas, which has to be given, irrespective of whether he is doing the environment or mathematics or physics or chemistry, anything. The nature is important. That's why we have to connect with the nature. So 100% we have to be given focus at the education level.
Yeah, I think the other, thank you, Dr. GBK. You told it, made it the point very clear. Vijayan was mentioning the other problem is, how do we balance I want to do something, but my environment doesn't permit. My profession, I wanted to be a professional. Like same Kishore ji was telling, no, my father wanted me to be like this. I want to be like this, but I became like this. I keep saying we have got dharma in different style. One is a swadharma. What I want is impossible to happen. When you have a family around you, they have a lot of demand on you. So we have to balance. Yeah, we have to balance our individual dharma to a family dharma, to a professional dharma. See, you have all these dharma together, but all these dharmas are irrelevant when it comes to your social dharma. That is what Sri Rama represents. He is a dharmic purusha, not as a son, not as a husband, but he is a dharmic purusha as far as the society is concerned. Because societal dharma becomes much bigger and higher than all the other dharmas. Professional dharma comes just below the societal dharma. And you have
very good.
Yeah.
Very good example. Very good example, Rama. If you see that Rama, he never did by his own. Even to go a place, the rishis have instructed you go this direction. You stay this place. Everything, that means that is the rishis where we have totally neglected them. Brahmins means it is not that by caste and this knowledge based, really the knowledge based people who are there, the king is always follow the rishis. Rishi means who has got the knowledge. That is not there today. Is that he doesn't even he says that I am what sadhu says I follow. That is the one today, the knowledge that is people which they have dharma, that sattvic dharma. We are not identifying them. We are not looking them. The kings are made. The Kumbh Mela, all that made the original system. Who is going to be the king? Who is going to be Chakravarti or Raja? The person who gives the more cows, more Vanumulikas, the herbs, he becomes the king. That was the original our system, which it saves the planet and saves the 84 lakhs living beings. These two are important. The cows, number of cows, number of herbs. Herbs required for the yajna. Without yajna, the future is not there. Let's not, that scientific studies are there, but this knowledge is not being given. Without yajna, nothing can change. The soil, water, air, all five elements will become balanced only through yajnas. Even individual, except factory, we have seen that place where the yajna is there. Is a science is there today to explain this, which is not, that consciousness has to be brought into the people. Individually, you can take this helps and keep yourself fitness. I will tell you, it's a German. He says that since 7 generations, my people are coming to Orissa, there the Harishankar place, where they are collecting so much herbs per throat year. They stay 15 days. German, 85 years old man. He says that people call him 8x4 because he's 7 feet above and 3.5 feet wide. The people call him 85 years old man. He tells that, we come to India, we collect the herbs for whole 15, per whole year. Since 7 generations they are doing. So we lost that touch. So we should give the importance to our herbs.
Yeah. Vijay, you want to conclude with something? Yeah.
Well, one of my findings, or what I was able to understand, is to change habits. A lot of things depends on whether Sanjay ji talked about discipline, and a lot of things depend on what we do, how we manage our 24 hours, which is predominantly driven, or a major portion is driven through habits. Habits can be changed by changing your manas, or the behaviors are driven intrinsically by your subconscious. So I was able to understand that the traumas, the negative beliefs, and the fears, and lack of good guidance, and lack of sufficient positive beliefs is subconsciously put in place, or consciously through social templates are being put in place, and then that are driving the behaviors where people want to be conscious because that is a state of happiness and balance or alignment. But there is an aberration, or that people are not being able to align to themselves internally or externally to the society, because behind the scene the subconscious is being programmed like that. So that I felt there are mechanisms like energy psychology. The whole field is about how to reprogram your subconscious. There are specialists in the field, and there's scientific studies about it, and there is yogic methods of yoga nidra or Kundalini awakening and satsanga. There's a lot of effective, gradual, immediate, but there are different tools available. Some are immediate, permanent, some are gradual, permanent. So there are solutions available for the things, and that's where I had landed. Now it's in the process to try to implement, test it out, and see how it can be implemented to the wider audience. So that's how I want it. That's what I want to say.
There is a general confusion. There is a general confusion with most of the youth today, the way in which they are being guided or not guided or misguided. So it is essential to have the traditional values inbuilt, and that can happen only by family wise how do we make them to understand what is going on like this? Is it the right
That's
path?
DPS.
That is what I mean by saying consciously be aware of where you are. It is
That's
not the,
DPS.
yeah.
Dr. TPS, there is a very simple way what Vijayendra is talking about, the gut feeling. People say, what is gut feeling? Always, tamasic and rajasic. Some people, the gut feeling, that is all the sattvic bhavana, sattvic thoughts. Why? Because the food, what is the bad bacteria, good bacteria in the gut? That gut, that is why it's calling gut feeling. So what you intake, that bhavana, it is all just is a food only. Food is only the main subject which we have lost today. Let us have that Amrut Ahar, which Amrut Ahar. Then your gut feeling will change. People will become sattvic.
No,
That
this
what
is what I am trying to say. It is not that what Dr. GPK is saying is not aware for everybody. Everybody is aware of it, but you are not able to practice it.
Yes,
That is
that
because
is
your parents
that's
are
why I
blind.
said Indriyas.
See, this is what.
Unless you
No,
control.
let me talk.
Yeah. If
See,
you don't control your Indriyas, if you don't have, then you are pasu. That is what.
See, the problem is not that you are not aware. That is what Duryodhana said, no? Janami dharmam nachame pravritti. I know what is dharmam, I am not able to do it. Janamya dharmam nachame nivritti. I know what is good, but I am not able to do it. Why is it happening? Your parents are blind. Both parents are blind. So if your parents are blind, how do you get guidance? You need good friends. And who are the friends? The friends are always from Shakuni's side. So you are misguided. That is why you need a good parenting. You need a good mentor. So it is not lack of awareness. It is not lack of education. It is the society, the environment, the satsang which matters. So what are we trying to do is to have that satsang so that it can be inculcated. We are not talking about integrity of what food is to be taken. Here the discussion is not on the prescriptions. We are discussing about the philosophy, the understanding, how functionally we can change them. See, we are not talking about the branded activities on each item. We are talking about the general consciousness. That is what we are trying to understand.
Can I say something?
Yeah, Jimmy.
Can I
But
say
not
something?
not too much of personal sharing. Come to the generic view. That is much better to understand. Yeah.
Yes. So, as a conscious living, that we have to give food for the body, mind, and soul. So we know prana is in the body. So by having proper food, we have to take care of the body. And for the mind, when we are considering as a family, or we can make positive environments like light music. Now people are in a rush mode, and people are not getting time to relax in their house. Actually, they are not making a calm environment and think and think and observe what is happening around and what is happening within us actually. Then the soul. For the soul, we can have the spiritual practices and all. So now the present generation is more oriented on material wealth. So when a child is born, they are thinking how to give education, how to make them how can we train them for a good job. And but the current generation is not giving time to understand life fact, like the birth and death actually. Nowadays, the current generation people are not even going to see a person who is in deathbed or some like that. So people are not watching how the life is starting and how the life is ending actually. They are only in one single mode: study, getting a job, earn, and make a family. And they are not observing what is a life pattern from birth to death. What is happening to a human being? They are not getting time to observe that actually.
Yeah, that's a good point. We must be aware of what is life. That life awareness is not there, that's missing. Yeah. Good point. Anybody else? Yeah, Jayaprakash ji, your mic is too bad. I think you need a small investment on that. You invest a lot of time on webinars, but I kindly request you to invest little money on your mic, which is making too much of noise. No,
Yes.
once you unmute, it becomes too noisy. Try if you want once again. I will request you to try once again. Yeah, you can speak. You can speak. You can speak. Don't wait. Just continue speaking.
First, DPK sir, thank you. Great. नैमिषारण्य महर्षि दधीची, हमें जीवन में एक सीखने के लिए ये नाम ही बहुत है और इनका अनुसरण हमें सबको करना चाहिए। पुरुषार्थ तो प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को करना चाहिए। जब हम धरती पे आए हैं तो हमको सबको पुरुषार्थ करना चाहिए। धन्यवाद।
Yeah, great message. That is what everyone has to do actually. Yeah. Yeah.
So should I say something?
Yeah, sure. Start.
Sir, actually, this is a very good topic you have chosen. But when we discuss, my discussion will be from the standpoint of philosophy. When we talk about a consciousness, it's a very higher category, conscious living, and especially I practice and follow Vedanta philosophy. And if we go by the idea of conscious living, and very few people actually practice the conscious living. 99% people follow the like they go by the mind, body, and the indriyas. And if we actually follow the conscious living, then many of the problems of the society, many of the problems of the life will resolve. Like in Vedanta, we said there are two consciousness. One is the witness consciousness, and one is the model consciousness. And one is the theory of appearance, what we perceive, and what is the reality. And generally, all the time, there is a consciousness which guides us, provided you accept and you are aware of that. And many of us, we are moving through the materialistic life, mechanical life. Many of the things we do not accept what the tradition says. And that is where the problem lies. And many professors, Professor Nirmaya and Professor G.B.K. Rao, Professor Keshav Chandra, so many things they have said. But actually, this is a conscious effort you have taken. And if it is a little bit also 1% people practice, then they can change their life. And a whole lot of theories are there about how to lead a good life and conscious life. As I said, that consciousness is a very not a kind of empirical understanding of the reality, but transcendental and spiritual. And there lies the problem, and very people understand the conscious living. Most of the time what we do listen to mind, or we do listen to our sense organs, and that is how the problems arise. And the whole lot of system also created to understand only mind, body, and the indriyas, not to understand the consciousness. And that is how that if we have a regular discussions how to motivate the people to understand the consciousness which is there within us and which is pure, and Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, as in Upanishad we said that, and then we can resolve the problems of the society. Otherwise things will not change. Even if we try, then the tamasic people will be there, rajasic will be there, and sattvic very few people, and like you and always do some kind of, and we can think of having regular discussions on conscious living. Conscious living is a very utopia to my mind, because conscious living, the moment, because many people do not understand what consciousness is, and they many times mix up with the Western ideas of that it is something which is there within your mind. If we do not understand the spiritual element of the consciousness theory, then whole lot of work which we are trying to do will not be successful. Only that conscious spiritual consciousness, because many of the Western philosophers also, they do talk about the conscious existence being, but their consciousness is only to understand the empirical or the material world. But unless and until that spiritual consciousness we bring within all human beings, then things are not going to change. Neither the educational system nor anything will go to change. That is what my perception, my understanding is. See.
Dr. Jayanti Sahu made the point very clear. But I will tell you, any number of time you discuss this, it will not even improve an iota of life pattern in you. It's like, assume that I want to get into agriculture. I keep on discussing about agriculture without going to a farm and wetting myself. It doesn't work. At least you should have some background in that. You should get into the field and then start working. Assume I want to learn business. I cannot keep on talking about business on seminar. I cannot learn swimming talking about swimming. It is the same way. If you want to learn about the real consciousness, you must have a life with those people who are practicing it. You cannot learn football staying out of the ground and then talking about the ball rounds like this goes. This is the biggest problem with the philosophy people. They speak philosophy of football. They speak philosophy of the... See, these are all good. Only when the philosophy comes, Darshana Shastram is philosophy, right? Krishna did not fight, but he had experience of fighting and undergoing all this. Then only he started taking Sudarshanam. The Sudarshanam is a good weapon. Sudarshanam is a good weapon only when you become the master of actions.
Sir, I have the experience of that real life situation.
No, I am not talking about. I am not talking about you. What I am saying is, any number of discussion will not improve. The triggering what we want is Nagaratnam ji joined. See, if I don't go to Nagaratnam ji to find what is happening there, if I don't go to GBK Rao's place to find what is happening there, and my harmony should go along with GBK Rao's harmony, so that I keep going there 10 times. Got it? So it has to match with the different things. That harmony is what we are trying to make. Meeting together, talking together, understanding together, then living together. So the discussions are good, but you have to really understand you should live together. Got it? So whatever certain time, people need lot of time to understand this. What happens in this world of today? What is happening today? If somebody is very rich, everybody has to listen to him. If somebody is very famous, if Amitabh Bachchan comes, everybody should listen to him, irrespective of what quality he has inside him, right? So we give value to something which is not part of the value which is to be given. Dr. GBK clearly mentioned Rama was a great king, but he always listened to a rishi who is not as famous as Rama. We had value for knowledge. Got it? Knowing that we had value of knowledge is not good enough. Do you install such people to distribute that knowledge? Do you recognize them? Do you give them the place? Do we have advisors today? We don't have. So the value of knowledge, otherwise Kaudilya would not have left his kingdom, right? Understood? We have more value for tuition centers than education centers today. So how do you make a hatch patch and then give them some mark in the examination? That has become the order of the day. So who sells faster? Who is having more number of cult people around them? Who is able to value that? Therefore, most of the people, it goes for saying, "Hey, I am a great author who has wrote 40 books." I keep saying we have a great politician from Kerala. He wrote many books because every year he finds what he wrote last year is wrong. So he will write another book correcting it. So he wrote 40 books in 40 years. Actually, he is not a great man. He is a very foolish fellow. Because every year he corrects. He don't have the maturity of doing it, right? So it is, we don't count people based on, do you have real questions to answer? That is what is essential.
Today's topic, Dr. TPS, today's consciousness. What is real consciousness? See, we are hearing that Duryodhana and Dharmaraja, we are hearing. But are we really conscious to know Duryodhana is in kingdom and having everything, and Dharmaraja in Aranya where nothing is there, but he is able to sleep, he is able to eat properly and happy, joyful even in the forest, whereas Duryodhana being in the kingdom is always afraid of the Pandavas because adharma, which we have to have that trust and belief and that in the consciousness, not just we know. Knowing is something, but really understand thoroughly what is the dharma, what is the dharma. The dharma, that's why Dharmaraja is always happy, even though he is not having food, which it has to, they have to beg and get, but still they are so much healthy, happiness, joyful, everything is there with them because they are in dharma. That is the consciousness who always tells what we are doing, dharma, dharma. That is most important. And trusting, believing our own that tradition.
Yeah, good. Well said. Anybody else who want to contribute?
Namaste.
Yeah.
Namaste, this is Manmohan.
Yeah.
Good evening to all the conscious souls over there. What I am looking over here is how we can address to the youth who are really looking for such kind of an enlightened souls messages. It is not like an elderly people like us. So our basic idea was see like a youth. See what all we spoke now till now. I'm looking, but not much. A guy who doesn't have much knowledge about spirituality, but if he is aware of the power of conscious, then really we can justify the basic intention of our conclave over here. Can we really elaborate on this?
Yeah, what Manmohan Reddy is talking is what we really wanted to make it happen. I have been roaming around the world, probably to Gulf maybe 100 times, meeting millions of students and then inculcating small spirit of what is required for them to realize. What I did was, probably when I go, maybe out of million people, 1,000 people came and stayed with me for at least 10 days to understand what is the life which I am proposing to make. It will happen only when you address for the teachers, parents and students. I keep saying TPS stands for teachers, parents and students. So the TPS is the actual core issue which I was addressing all the time. And it has gone through. Probably I had to stop during 2019-20 for last 2 years. I did nearly 6 years. I was looking actually for a place where such things can happen in Hyderabad. I am unfortunate that nobody has come forward, though I've shared my experience. We need a place. I'm actually searching for such a community where we can have such activities, where we can have a family get together, where people can understand, live together. Many people, when I conduct camps, I used to have not only children, their parents also will come. So the family change can happen. So there are a lot of people actually looking forward for such options. We need to propagate it. It may not happen to thousands. Maybe we can start with the 10 or 100. Do we have such families who will be able to make it happen? We are always looking for that. See, there are different aspects. When people come, I have got a cousin brother who is good in sports. If the group is having more sports activity, I will put them to that. If they have got music, I will put them to that. It is not with a syllabus. This is what I am going to do. Our problem is everybody want a write-up to be made, make a document, then we will start. It is as good as a NCERT problem or a CBSE problem. I believe in the, just now GBK was talking about a trust. But that is not there, because we always talk about what model is working and how is it to be done. Immediately tell what is your model, make a PowerPoint, present in front of me, make a document, bind it nicely and then show it so that I will believe in you. You can have deliberations, you can have dialogue. I remember working with one of the richest men from Kerala. We had 13 hours of dialogue. And he has given me a free hand saying that you spend. Aravind knows that. We had a dialogue on what happened in Palakkad when I retired. Immediately he said, come and stay here. Only after 13 hours of discussion, he said, you spend as much as you want to, what we can do in the society, you prove it. It took only 13 months to prove that what we can do in education. And there is a model which is working. But I have not seen that courageous people, though they are rich, they have facility. There are not courageous people who say that, yeah, you can do it. Correct. This is lacking. The commitment is lacking. The commitment is only blah, blah, blah. When it comes to real touch, it is too hot. We cannot touch them. That is what is happening. That is what I am sharing, Manmohan Reddy. We have gone to many places. We have seen many places. But I have not seen a place where really it is comfortable with harmony. We can work together. That is so pathetic, so bad. I will tell you, that is what has happened.
Welcome to Pragati.
Yeah, looking for
welcome to Pragati.
That's very good. Very good, GBK said.
Yeah, we will do that. That is what I wanted to know. Yeah, Dilip ji wanted to say something. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, when a child get experience harmonious lifestyle with the family and the community, that will make a big change. When we spend time with the wise people, doesn't matter old or young, the child will get the knowledge. The respect towards people and animals and the plants, the awareness about the entire life, that is totally different. So how many schools or colleges are educating like this? Not. I see when I grew up, we have so many grandmas, grandparents near us. You don't need my parents to take care of me, they take care of me. So they tell us different stories, we learn it from childhood. So how many people can have that experience? Very, very rare. Even when I look at the commitment, when TPS are talking about a commitment, very rarely I see in New York. Last 22 years I am working 24/7. I work very hard to get, even spending 2 hours with the consciousness. Very hard to get people.
Dilip ji, that this is where I want to see what is missing here is we are not able to really intervene where actually this kind of the power of a consciousness to be given at what age, what is in what format we need to give. Now we conscious souls, we are trying to only address the latter part of our life. But do we have any mechanism to address this at the core of at the very basic level, as you are saying that? So once we can create a mechanism, what are the areas and what is the mechanism and where does we need to start so that will become a part of our living. See, as we are seeing that the bigger confused world that we are seeing on the roads in the name of a new year, how much chaos and how much confused our people are. See, just by consuming a small thing, they are thinking that they are happy and all. It's a momentary kind of a joy. See, are we able to really address this kind of a confused souls? So there is a people waiting down for us to really help them out. But we need to have some spaces where we can address their concerns. This is very much needed. See, if everybody can't know about the ethos and all, but to start with, if they can understand the basic level of the power of conscious, then later on they can explore the bigger possibilities. That's what I'm looking at.
Manmohan Reddy, as just now Dr. GBK was talking, no, it is not learning. The understanding is lacking. See, for example, our value system, which Dilip ji was mentioning, it has gone into academics. We are not teaching it. Whenever there is a system falls, society falls, we keep saying it is not being taught in the classroom. I am sure if we ask Mahatma Gandhi's non-violence to be taught, you will have in social science or moral science class, Mahatma Gandhi was holding a flag off. 4 options will be given. You have to tick one of them. And that one of them will be non-violence. That doesn't make a child to understand what is non-violence. Understood? So this is what is lacking. We want everything to be part of education. But that education doesn't give. The real value system will not come through education. It has to be always. I don't think we created dancers from dance schools. We have not created actors from actor schools. We have not created engineers from engineering colleges, I will tell you. It is only that extra mileage he takes, the extra power. I don't think it is academically, probably there is a trigger which can be given, but you should have that zeal in you, which you need to have a cultivate that sort of an environment. That is what is we are looking for. Our aim is, because we are not part of academic situation, we are not part of NCERT or CBSE or UGC where we can implement it and see. I'll tell you, even during that, when I was part of UGC, when teachers will come for orientation program because they want a certificate. So education system has become only a certification program, and today it has become so rubbish and lavish. Anybody can get certificates from online, and people look for such things. That is what is lacking. See, that needs a different kind of a system. It is only to introduce somebody. I remember first last year when we met Jemmy Matthew, she was there on one of the teachers training program. But how many teachers are really interested to learn, who will follow continuously? Oh, this man is telling something different. Let me follow him and then learn. Rarely we see somebody. That is what is happening. So we need
This is
to.
what.
Yeah.
How we can show that. See, the importance of living in a conscious way. See, this has not been addressed the way we are addressing the purposeless education.
See, the problem is they are getting educated without having a real objective, and scope is not defined. People are not investigating their own. See, we know how to spend money, but we don't know how to spend our life. See, we know if we invest money, we know how to make a double money, but we don't know how to invest our life to create more life. See how impactful you can. That is more important.
Dr. GBK sir, see, my conviction and my conscience says that only people like Dr. GBK has got a bigger clout and convenience. To start with, he can initiate this thing to a certain extent. Then later on, the other people will follow. I hope he is also looking for such kind of an opening or initiation, but still he has got everything. But I don't know still what is stopping the great man to come into such a kind of a saviors.
It's not stopping. It is whatever our part we are doing there, educating the people. Either we are taking the farmers is the first, the basic what we need. Really the Amrutahar. That is what we have taken. In the school, university, college, all this is our plan to have a place where as a role model. There's health point of view, we have proven naturopathy, Ayurveda, Unani, homeopathy, acupuncture, yoga, meditation, what is going on at Pragati, it is world class. There's whatever. Now the school, what we wanted, a school, college, university, that is the one which we want to bring it at a place. Changing the government today's position, that is a waste of our time today, because that is only money oriented and also the power oriented. These two only it makes sense for them. As I had to my whole experience, what I learned, for them, that the only two things. That is next election and money, which it can, these two, if these two are there, we can go there. If it is not, then that is not the government to go. The people have to change. Today, when election, one village, they say two people are paid money, and third party, two parties paid money. Third party is not paid money, though we don't go for voting. That is the level the people have come to. Unless the people, we have to bring change in the people, that is only possible. Everyone individual change, then only it changes. Because I change, many people come there and they follow that system. So,
See, Doctor, here the fun is, we know the problem, we diagnosed it, but still we are not able to create the mechanisms to address these problems. See, yesterday also I spent almost four hours, the power of conscious, how we can really get connected to the other way around. But still, at the core level, what are the mechanisms we need to create to address this kind of issues? So how to frame out the modalities. So this is very much needed. The time is really reminding us that what are the modalities we need to create to address this. As I said, we have a problem, we have diagnosed it, but only thing is, let us create the modalities, the frame, and then see that we need to look up for like these webinars, or a physical one, or a virtual one. This is what the bigger need of the hour.
You are very right. If you see my the channel, whatever is there, fortunately today the social media, there are so many which freely you can see. But who is interested? The people interested only Amitabh Bachchan. People are interested. Someone is talking about the heroes and heroines. It's not the people there. If politician is coming, our hero is coming, the whole population there. I don't understand. As long as the change in the people system, where the social media is available, how much material is available, why they are not going into the good things, why they are going only. It is a question of the Pragati is made 1994. The type of the farming type of helps, type of the 20,000 people we have treated positive to negative, and World Book of Records, they given certificates that during particular this the COVID how we have served, and also how many herbs we have cultivated. Those they can give certificate. In India, why we are not knowing why we are going for vaccines? When it is proven, 20,000 no side effects, there all is social media is available. It's not that World Book of Record is given on this, but why we are not really that much time has to take? It is practically is available. This is not a scientifically proven helps, which is thesis of why people don't go the thesis, what is submitted and is available in the social media. Ashwagandha is being given so much about that Ayurveda scientifically is proven. Doctors have taken in Ashwagandha. And also is proven. This is being told in Adharvaveda. Your Amrutavalli is nothing but it is Tepatika is available everywhere. And why we don't use when it is?
This is conscious. Again, there's a conscious. We have
no. See, Manmohan Reddy.
Things are available. What I mean to say, it is available. What to take during the COVID freely is available. It's not the costing. It doesn't cost. But people are not that consciousness, which is today's program is. Is one day we will not able to understand. But it's social media. It's really helpful so much. The social media, very, very good things are seen, and People have to see. People talk about bad things so much, but good things they don't speak.
See,
Good things they don't speak.
Manmohan
That's the
Reddy,
problem.
we should appreciate Dr. GBK Rao. I have not seen a single time when he denied when we asked him to become part of any webinar. And he is very, very convinced about what is he doing, and he propagates it very well, right? Now, our job is, how do we take this to a larger group? Like, assume that you want to take it to youth. I don't think there is no second method other than reaching them to the school teachers and college teachers, university teachers, academicians, head of the institutions. So we have to see, when I wanted to do something in a place, I did not start with the students. What I did was, I did like, there are different methods for making it part of the teachers program. Unofficially, we can inculcate in that into them, and they will in turn take them to the students. Only thing, if that can run, I'm sure we started in a wrong time. Probably the COVID was spreading, where education institutions were on and off, but it doesn't stop. I think, I'm sure Dr. GPK can do lot of things to take it to the teachers, take it to different parts of the country for different teachers, even with having visited that place, understanding that, listening to such things, we can have some competitive programs in which teachers get involved, they immerse themselves, so that becomes part of their spirit. There are methodologies. Yeah, we
Sir,
can.
I would like to.
People,
Yeah.
which is available. Either you can't have the soil. It was a polluted place. Today the soil is not polluted, water is not polluted, air is not polluted. We have done nothing great thing.
See,
what Veda said, we just follow.
Nagaratnam ji is also there. So we should use such facilities. You should use such facilities to take it forward, to take it to larger number of groups, and then take it slowly to the students. It is not that, as Dr. GBK said, today it will be done. No, it cannot be done on a day. But I am sure a day it can be done.
Yes,
Today it cannot be done. A day will come when it can be realized.
Sir,
Yeah.
I would like to add something here, that the mechanism is already there. See, the Indian mechanism is that once you follow that, you convince yourself, then only you can change the people. So first conviction should be start from your side, like Professor GBK Rao is doing. I'm sure that maximum people are following him. So it's not that good people are not there and people do not want to follow the good things, but there are rarest of the rare few people are teaching this kind of philosophy or this kind of conscious living, taking commitment and responsibility and addressing the people. Very few people you find. And that is why the many good things are not happening. It's not that people do not want to accept good things, but they also do not know what to do. What we have given to this generation, only the bad things.
No, it takes Dr. Jayanti. Last year, first time when I met Dr. GBK, again through Manmohan Reddy, we had a dialogue. But that time I know very little about what is happening in agriculture around Hyderabad. It was not that I could do something. We had experience. So I keep saying the 1 year experience what I had in last 1 year is more than what 10 years experience I had, because world is running very fast. So now I am in a position to say that, oh, this is the action which we have to take in this circumstance, because circumstances also keep changing. It is not that last century's experience can be done in this century. Last decade experience, probably something can be done today, because I don't say that we are on 21st century. I keep saying we are on third decade of 21st century. Don't talk about this is 20th century, 21st century. We should say this is third decade of 21st century. Let us do what we can do in the fourth decade. For that we should work. The world is running very fast. That's a problem. Yeah.
See, 1 second.
Yeah.
Are we, Dilip ji, Kishore ji and Jayanti madam and all, see, can we spend some time in creating some kind of next session's modalities? Now it is already 7. Can we do that, please?
Yeah, we will see. What we do is, when I host something, it is not that it just came from heaven. Just now, I also spoke to Dr. GBK Rao. He said he is planning to have such an institute. We will have a place accommodation. Probably it takes one more year. I am not starting from zero. We had discussions. We had what can be done. So that no, these are all part of some consensus between people. We will do that. So, see, last year when I spoke to Dr. GBK or when we inaugurated the program on grandma child care, I never knew Dilip ji. Now we have a lot of activities done. We can have a lot of activities which can be initiated at different places.
Amrutahar package, Amrutahar. This will change the whole system of our farmers, our environment, our lifestyle, our health, wealth, everything will change. I'm telling how much sugarcane sugar to replace these plants like palms required the 3 or 4 types of palms, which is a huge income. I'm telling you, people can by agriculture, which today they are talking about is loss, but huge income, the type of herbs, the type of plants, the type of which the selection of crop pattern is not there today. That is given by Pragati. You can earn. It's a huge requirement. It's not that competition for sugarcane sugar replace. How much how many farmers? Even millions of farmers can produce that type of palms, which doesn't need a cost. At the same time, like rice, wheat, millets, and important thing is of coffee, tea. That is helps what is required. It changes the whole individual as a group, as a village, as a town, as a city, as a whole country, and we can become the richest country in the world by having these 4 to supply, because this is the ultimate.
Nagaratnam ji is there. Nagaratnam ji, Gudivada Nagaratnam ji, I am seeing the name now.
Yes.
You can unmute and speak, Nagaratnam ji.
Unmute just only.
Vijay. Yeah, Kishore ji showed a hand. Yeah, we can have a concluding maybe in another 4 minutes.
Kishore, you want to speak?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to react to what Manmohan ji said, we need to create that consciousness among the youth. And how we are going to proceed is the modality that we have to try to see how it can fit it. But here I'd like to say one thing, all the things were existing in India, in ancient India, but we have given up all these systems. But there is one thing, one country, one nation is doing it. Israel has done a lot of things, and that consciousness creating among the youth is that they have been, trying to bring the youth in the kibbutz system, where they were spending years and then they were learning everything, for that we are part of the nature and we have to respect the nature. And then, the people who were living in the kibbutz, they were being taught everything, how to cook food, how to do the clothing, washing clothing, washing dishes, working in the field and cleaning the toilets and everything, This is a complete way of doing things so that we can create the consciousness that we are part of that universal system, that we need to do everything. We don't depend on others. So if that we can create, then we can create the understanding what is our duty and how we should do it. And then the other thing is this, once we understand it, we say that, okay, by the action that we are doing, am I getting the satisfaction? Am I getting the happiness? If you are getting the happiness, you have to see if that happiness is being seen in the community in which you are forming part of it. If that happiness is not going to the community, what's the use of having this happiness for myself? Like Dr. TP was telling in the Bhagavad Gita, as Krishna says, if you do things, it's good for you, But if you do things that is benefiting the whole population, that is much better. So we have to work in that way. I don't mind, if you are going to have a discussion of the modalities of how to create the strategies and everything like that. I can be part of that and try to help and give my ideas. And then, but we have to have some people where we should start. Like Dr. G.P.K. Rao has started in agriculture. He said it was about 25 years or 30 years back. So I think we have to come back to come back to the roots and then try to see how we can share it and then create the real consciousness of creating the consciousness of living happily, of living healthily, and living for the benefit of the population at large. The Red Indians in America, they live in such a way that they are living in accordance with the rules of nature. So once they say, their medicine was not the pharmacies that they are creating, the big farms are creating. Their medicine is in the forest, in the native forest. They know which plant, they have got certain things or disease that they call it, are not feeling at ease. If you take the leaf of that plant, then you will feel the release of all the pains and everything like that. I think we have to create that, and then maybe together we can do it. Alone we can't do it, but together we can do it. Thank you.
Nagaratnam ji. Nagaratnam ji.
DrTPS has come. And Nagaratnam Reddy.
Yeah, Nagaratnam ji, please.
నమస్కారం సార్.
Namaskar.
అందరికీ నమస్కారం.
Namaskaram.
హ్యాపీ న్యూ ఇయర్ అందరికీ. నూతన సంవత్సర శుభాకాంక్షలు, ఆంగ్లంలో శుభాకాంక్షలు. సో మీరు మాట్లాడినంతా విన్నాం సార్, బట్ ఐ కెన్ స్పీక్ ఇన్ తెలుగు. No problem.
You speak whichever language you want. Everybody will learn Telugu by then.
Convenient to you.
Okay. తెలుగు మాట్లాడతాను. జీవికే గారికి, డాక్టర్ గారికి, మన్మోహన్ రెడ్డి గారికి, మిగతా అందరికి కూడా నా హృదయపూర్వక నమస్కారం. ఈ సెమినార్ చాలా బాగా ఉంది. రాబోయే రోజుల్లో నేచర్ని స్టూడెంట్స్కి ఎలా అనుసంధానం చేయాలని ప్రోగ్రాము చాలా అద్భుతంగా ఉంది. నేను మాట్లాడేదానికన్నా చేసి చూపించడం వల్లనే ఉంటుంది. నా దగ్గర ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ ఉంది కానీ డబ్బులు లేవు. సో ఆ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ని మీరు ఎలాగైనా ఉపయోగించుకోవచ్చు మా ఫామ్లో కూడా. సో స్టూడెంట్స్ని ఎడ్యుకేట్ చేయడంలో మొదటగా సో ఆ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ గురించి స్టూడెంట్కి అర్థమయ్యే విధంగా చెప్పగలుగుతాను. వాళ్ళని నేచర్కి అనుసంధానం చేస్తాను. వాళ్ళ దగ్గరగా ఈ నేచర్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది, నేషనల్ ఫుడ్ సెక్యూరిటీ వితౌట్ కెమికల్ ఫుడ్, నేషనల్ హెల్త్ సెక్యూరిటీ, నేషనల్ వెల్త్ సెక్యూరిటీ అండ్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంటల్ సెక్యూరిటీ, ఈ నాలుగురి గురించి కూడా విద్యార్థులకి గత 20 సంవత్సరాలుగా కూడా చెప్పడం జరుగుతుంది. సో అందరూ స్టూడెంట్స్ కూడా చాలా వరకు ఈరోజు నేచర్ గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నారంటే అనేక మంది విద్యార్థుల్ని ఎవ్రీ ఇయర్ నా గురించి 9th క్లాస్ బయాలజికల్ సైన్స్లో ఒక లెసన్ కూడా ఉంది, ఒక పార్ట్. సో తద్వారా నాకు వచ్చిన అవకాశంతో అనేక మంది, వేల మంది, లక్షల మంది విద్యార్థుల్ని మా ఫామ్లో ఎడ్యుకేట్ చేయడం కూడా జరుగుతుంటుంది. సరే, మీరందరూ కూడా ఒక్కసారి మా ఫామ్ విజిట్ చేసి నేనేమైనా చేయగలుగుతానంటే, మీకు నేను ఎలాగైనా ఉపయోగపడతానంటే మీరు ఉపయోగించుకోవాల్సిందిగా మీకు అందరికీ తెలియజేస్తున్నాను. సో ఉన్న నేచర్ని గురించి చెప్పగలుగుతాం, లైవ్గా నేచర్ని చూపించగలుగుతాం. నేచర్లో ఉన్న ఇన్సెక్ట్ కానీ అన్ని కూడా మా ఫామ్లో లైవ్గా చూపించడం జరుగుతుంటుంది. ఈ విధంగా మా దగ్గర ఉన్న అవకాశాన్ని మీకేమన్నా ఉపయోగపడుతుంది అనుకుంటే నేను మీకు ఎలా ఉపయోగపడుతుందో అలా ఉపయోగించుకోవడానికి నేను సిద్ధంగా ఉంటాను.
Thank you, Nagaratnam garu. Dilip ji, when Bush came, he went to Nagaratnam ji's farm to see what is happening there.
Oh, that's good.
విషయం ఇండియన్ అగ్రికల్చర్ సిస్టమ్ గురించి చెప్పింది అంతే.
Yeah, and there are a lot of visitors. The other day I came to know about him and then seen the videos, and then Manmohan Reddy garu forcefully took me to his farm today. So I was there for half day. We had a good time. We had a wonderful time actually. That's what Vijayendran was mentioning in the beginning. Right? A lot of visitors keep coming, and then he's doing it as a free service, and it's a beautiful, nice place, a small place. Yeah.
It is only people like GBK Rao, and we need to give life to such kind of a man who has committed to do something in the farming.
No, that is what I was telling. We have a lot of small islands. We need to connect to those bridges. So probably that can happen, and that could be one of the activity which we can take forward. I'm sure we should make some activities to propagate it to the next generation. If anybody,
2022.
yeah,
2022 will be bringing the change in the people. That is our mission.
that is great. That is great, sir.
This 2022, our mission is to bring awareness and consciousness towards a biodiversity. The biodiversity is ultimate, live and let live. It's not that just only human beings. That is, we'll take this year as a awareness and consciousness towards the biodiversity. That is.
We have a World Social Craft Foundation under which we are doing. Actually, Dilip ji is also part of it in the chair. So I'm sure these are all done under his umbrella. And we will have these activities spread for social craft. Actually, that is what we are trying to do. We are crafting a society.
The group is a good group.
Yeah.
Mr. Nagaratnam also has come, and he is also is a very serious contribution in this line. We all together have a mission, that is awareness and consciousness towards biodiversity. 2022.
The Mission 22 will be addressed by GBK Rao and the farmers like us, and modulated by the great scientist called DrTPS. It has to be modulated by somebody.
Dilip ji is visiting India this maybe next 3-4 months. So welcome to Hyderabad. We will have a World Yoga Community representation in Hyderabad.
My plan is coming end of first week of March. Let us see how the corona crisis is going on. Last 2 years I stuck in New York.
Don't worry about corona. Follow our helps what we given in the website.
I take only Ayurveda and Homeo. I have so many Homeo medicine.
Yeah,
but it's required to take a vaccine. Until coming to America, I never had a vaccine.
See, Dilip ji, just now we know Srinivasan, the artist and the film personality from Kerala, right? Most of his movies are directed by his cousin Mohan. Mohan was talking to me over 10 to 15 minutes. He was showing a lot of it. He was asking me morning, where were you? So I said I was in Nagaratnam's farm. So he was telling the Kerala roads, both sides, they have taken a lot of land, nearly 20 acres of land, and cultivated a beautiful vegetable farming. And that has become a place where people come and visit today, because lot of roadside land which is unused is being used. So there are people who wanted to make a difference. I'm sure small things can make a lot of differences, but we need to multiply it with the number of people. That is the way we should go. Right? Volume matters. Volume matters.
Most of the time our people's mind is going to unnecessary politics rather than run the country.
We also need critics and politics people and all that. Let them do their job. Let us do our job. That is what we should do. Anybody want to say a last word? Bipin wanted to say a last single word, probably. Some small sentences put together, 1 minute. Harini is also there. Somebody, Harini, yeah.
The main thing is always, all these things we have heard, the main thing is connection. Once everybody come together and work forward, and that has to be systematically done, then it will become a success actually. That is the main thing what I think DrTPS will take it forward, and hope all of the others will help and contribute in this manner, then it will go forward very easily actually.
Murali was here from Ahmedabad. I am seeing Murali Krishna is a different person. Right? Yo, Murali Krishna is the professor. I am not seeing, only head is in.
Yeah, I am Murali Krishna. Actually, I read mostly Krishnamurti's works.
Okay.
What he says, consciousness is love. That's all. Love the nature. love the nature. That's all.
That's
Nothing
it.
else.
That's it. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. We had another Murali Krishna from Ahmedabad, and he is one person who writes a lot of books by staying in different places and heritage of India. And he was here for some time, and just now NS Reddy joined. I don't know. Face. Good enough. Shall we call it a day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you all of you. Thank you Dr. GPK, thank you Dilip ji, Jayanti ji, Vijendra, Kishore Chandra, and Nagaratnam Garu, and definitely Manmohan Reddy is the key person who started. He is the person who triggered all this. So thank you Bipin. Harsha is from Andhra.
So,
Good.
thank you all.
Thank you. So we
Thank
will
you
start
all.
doing
Happy
something,
and
Dr.
prosperous
GBK.
year.
On the ground, we will start making the actions ready now.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
We'll do that.
Vashidibhyo Namaha.
Manmohan Reddy Garu.
Sir.
So you were nailing at the right place.
So that I cannot see. This is what I spent 4 hours. I am aware I did some homework.
I
What
know.
is consciousness? What is the universal consciousness? But still that is there already. But what we need to do, what is the role we need to do? That is
100%.
what I'm looking.
100%.
When that is,
100%.
see, you are not able to see GBK Rao. You are still he was very eager to speak the other way around.
No, that is why I made that strong statement that commitment is missing, right? Okay. Thank you.
Somebody is waiting down. Somebody is waiting down, sir. Sri.
Sri Harsha is always with me. He is my